Now, as the Wesley Ridge fire continues to burn and grow, so do the hearts of members in surrounding communities. Some are doing what they can to help, even when they've been evacuated themselves. For more on how the community continues to cope with this fluid situation, let's bring in reporter Chattis Leo. Chattis, I see you're just a few kilometers away from the fire in Whiskey Creek. How are the emotions tonight in those surrounding communities?
Yeah, the emotions are running high, April. Thank you. And we're just trying to get a grasp on, what needs to be done here in order to make sure everybody's safe and ready to go as they get those evacuation alerts. And it's interesting. We're talking about a story here about rain, and it is actually just starting to rain a little bit where I am now. So that's some good sign. What's not a good sign is the wind as well, too. So that's starting to pick up here as we speak. And Island Health has also put out an air quality advisory for Eastern Vancouver Island and the inland Vancouver Island. So the advisory is telling people if you're coughing or your chest hurts or anything like that, you need to call 811 and get some health advice. So again, a advisory for the smoke here in the area. And Environment Canada says the rain did come down overnight here, like you said. It did put a temporary pause, but the community is still rallying together and making sure that they not only take care of evacuees, but the people fighting that fire. It's full steam ahead for the small but mighty kitchen not too far from the Wesley Ridge wildfire. Extreme Eatery at the Aerosmith Golf Course is busy grilling up wraps, sandwiches, and
the most amount of coffee I've ever seen in my entire life.
What keeps staff going isn't what they're serving up, but who they're serving it to.
They are covered in soot and dirt, and they just come in that line and they have a smile on their face of them.
And the line hasn't slowed down.
We're making up to 500 sandwiches a day.
And those sandwiches are being made by employees who have also been evacuated due to the wildfire.
Hearing that you have no staff, or that your staff has nowhere to live, is difficult.
One of those staff members is Sandy Johnson.
It's tough emotionally, for sure.
Johnson lives at the very top of Wesley Ridge. You wouldn't know it looking at her. She seems upbeat, but inside, she's struggling.
How are you feeling? Optimistic, hopeful? Where's your emotional status at with this fire?
I feel like it's going to be a long time before we get back in there. I think that fire is too big for the little amount of rain that we got.
Some precipitation did fall in the region overnight.
What does that do for the Wesley Ridge area specifically?
What it's really going to do more than anything today is sort of damp down some of the fire behavior. We didn't take enough precipitation off this little bit of a upper trough that rotated through to really do anything long term.
Environment Canada says the region could expect 2 to 5 millimeters into the evening, but that won't make much of a dent for crews, especially with some hot days ahead.
Likely going to get worse before it gets better, but it does look like much of the upcoming work week is going to be above seasonal temperature wise, and that's likely going to cause a bit more hardship for those BC Wildfire Service crew that are out on that fire.
The rain did help. It helped slow things down, if nothing else.
Over in Whiskey Creek, the wildfire is still visible from afar. Even though some community members are feeling less optimistic as the fire burns out of control, the Regional District thinks otherwise.
The people who know how to manage this type of fire are there, and including our fire departments, because they also go when there's other fires in other areas of the province.
Back in the kitchen, the work continues. The eatery is getting paid for their work by BC Wildfire, but it doesn't cover everything. None of this is possible without friends, family, and an entire community doing its part to get things back to normal.
Every day there's hope and that it's going to change.
Yeah, and that hope is definitely being felt here in the community, both in Whiskey Creek and Meadowood and anywhere around that evacuation area or evacuation alert area. Now, that being said, the hope is important, but Environment Canada is saying the rest of the week there is going to get hotter, looking into above seasonal temperatures. The closest we're going to get to any rain might be on Tuesday, but that 2 to 5 millimeters does include a bit tonight. I'm feeling it now, April, and the wind is also picking up, which isn't great news, and I'm worried my light will fall over, but we will keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on this as we come along here. April.
Right in the thick of things, and like you say, Chattis, we can just see behind you that little bit of wind, but we can see the rain dropping, so hopefully more rain would be great. Thank you very much. Chattis Leo keeping us informed near Cameron Lake tonight.